Music is a very special and important thing to me. Music can stay with you for a very long time. It can make you feel different emotions, and one of my favorite kinds of music is video game music. In this video, I will be talking about video game music, how it can be used, why it is so great, and I will also talk about some games that have amazing soundtracks that I love and are important to me. And some games do this beautifully, whether it be a small town, a big quest, or just adventuring and exploring, or it's scary, dark, and evil, whether you're in like a mansion or in the sewer in the horror game or something. While some movies have great music, it typically doesn't stay with me as much as video game music does. While there are a lot of movies that have great music, I feel like video game music is more impactful to me. A lot of movies today, all of them have similar music, especially a lot of action movies. It isn't bad music, but it's forgettable. It's better than no music, but it just doesn't stick with you the same way video game music does. And sadly, some modern games have had some lame and forgettable music as well. Not all games though. There are still newer games that have some of the best soundtracks, like Doom, Red Dead Redemption 2, Far Cry 5, etc. Video game music has such a special place in my heart, and it can fill me with so much joy. I know that might sound lame, but it's true. While secular music may have lyrics you can sing along to, and yes, I love secular music and that's what I listen to most of the time, but video game music can be just as great. Imagine playing an awesome, immersive game without music. It would suck. While some games might be quiet on purpose to create horror or the sense of you feeling alone, but in most cases, video game music can help complete the game and can make the game better in some circumstances. Music cues. Musical cues are important and they can be used greatly, whether it be a sound or a music clip that signals a boss battle or a certain enemy, random encounters, etc. An example of this would be the save rooms in Resident Evil. When you enter, you can save the game and get items from the box. In these rooms, you can't be hurt by enemies, and enemies typically can't come in and hurt you, so it's a safe place to save the game and get some more items. The music is both eerie and comforting at the same time. My biggest and only complaint about Resident Evil 2 Remake is that there was no save room music. It played at the first save room for like 20 to 30 seconds and then faded out, and then you never hear it again for the rest of the game. That's why I switch the game most of the time to the original soundtrack in the settings so that I can hear the save room music. But that's a DLC for like $3 to buy it. It's worth it in my opinion, but still it should have been free. Whatever. But Resident Evil 3 Remake had save room music. And while Resident Evil 2 Remake was a better game, at least RE3 Remake had save room music. Nostalgia. Some video game music is so special to me, and I have so much nostalgia for these games and especially their music. Pokemon Crystal is one of my first games I ever played on the Game Boy, and I played the heck out of it. Just hearing the music from that game brings back happy memories of my childhood. There are some experiences or memories in my childhood, but I mostly remember what I was playing or doing in that game and not what was happening around me. One story or example, one time our car ran out of gas one time on the side of the freeway, and my mom was freaking out and super scared. But at that moment, I was super happy and excited because I was playing the Game Boy and I just figured out how to capture Staryu and find Staryu in Pokemon Crystal, which you just had to use a fishing rod. Nostalgia can be so powerful, and you'll remember these songs for so long, and they can have a personal meaning and feeling for you, and when you hear them, they can bring back happy, or I guess even some circumstances bad or scary memories. Which leads into my next segment, retro/old games. Older games and retro games have great music as well. Pokemon Crystal and the other old Pokemon games are a great example of this. I love their music. Some people may think it's old or dated, but those people have no taste. I mean, come on. I'm just kidding. But I'm not. Undertale, while it's a newer game that came out in 2014, it has an older feel, with older graphics, and it had sprites for the characters. It had killer music, which was very retro, very dated like those kind of older games. In my opinion, older games such as Zelda Ocarina of Time, Mario 64, Halo 1 and 2, Final Fantasy 7, and much more have a certain charm that most games today don't have. Games like this have such amazing music, but there aren't many games today, if any, that are like this or have similar music to these games. Some older games are just charming, while modern games today may have boring or basic soundtracks. Not all of them, but some of them do. And yes, there are old games with poopy graphics and bad controls. Sure, I will admit that, but that's for another video or something. I'm not talking about that in this video. Which leads to my next segment, The Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda series has amazing, beautiful music, whether it be from the old NES game to Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Breath of the Wild, or Age of Calamity. Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask have beautiful and amazing music and is some of my favorite video game music. In those games, there's almost always music playing, and the music is different or can change for which area or place that you're in. In Breath of the Wild, which came out at the launch of the Switch in 2017, there are moments where there is little to no music playing. When exploring and traveling throughout Hyrule, there might be a few piano keys, but not much music. But this makes it so that when there is a song playing, whether it be because you're in a certain area, in a town, or fighting a boss, the music is so much more impactful and magical. Some songs are so great and amazing, but if you listen to them on repeat over and over, you might get sick of them. I've never gotten sick of games where music is constantly playing, for certain games at least. Like Final Fantasy 7, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, the old Pokemon games. There's always music playing, but it's different, and I think those games have great and some of my favorite music. While I will say one example of looping music being irritating or getting annoying is probably the original Doom, like the old classic like pixelated Doom series. I've played the first one, and the levels, it's just the music's looping over and over and over, and if you're trying to figure out where you're going, you just get, like, sure, it could be a 6 song, like, what is it, E1, M1 or whatever, but if you're, like, playing it so much, you could just get sick of it so easily. And then my next topic, Halo. The Halo game series is my favorite. It's like the Star Wars of video games. It has some of, if not the best video game music, composed and written by the legendary Marty O'Donnell. Marty O'Donnell didn't want the player to get sick of his music, so he has his music play only in certain times and not constantly. The Halo series is so great music-wise, at least when Bungie was developing them. because each game's music is somewhat different, but yet it still has a classic Halo feel, and it still feels like they all connect. From the original Combat Evolved to the electric guitar and rock of Halo 2, from the piano of Halo 3 to the jazz and feeling of being alone in Halo 3 ODST, and to the drums and percussion of Halo Reach. While Halo 4 did have some good songs, it didn't feel like Halo. I really did love the main menu theme or music for Halo 4 though. I love that music. Halo 5 had basic action music and it was so forgettable, and that game did a lot of things wrong in my opinion. But at least the gameplay was amazing and fun. Halo has some epic, great music with amazing, fun gameplay and a great story. I could talk about it forever. Skyrim. Skyrim is another game series with some of my favorite music. It has beautiful and immersive music, and it makes the world of Skyrim feel magical and epic. I could go explore and go on quests forever. Doom. Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal has some amazing music by Mick Gordon. The heavy metal music just makes you want to punch a brick wall and split a demon's head open. Ah! Its music fits perfectly with its gory first-person shooter gameplay, and it pumps you up and it makes you want to keep playing. Metal music is a great genre that pumps you up and makes you feel unstoppable, which for Doom fits perfectly. As Doom Guy, you are an unstoppable force to be reckoned with, and its music fits perfectly. And the music complements and adds to the experience so much. Conclusion. Movies and shows don't and can't use music in the same ways that video games can. Because with games, you're playing and controlling what happens, which can make video game music special and personal to you. Video game music is made to motivate you, but is also made to not take your focus away from the game. Video game music adds so much to a game and your experience with it. Some games with amazing soundtracks that I didn't talk about in this video are Far Cry 5, Far Cry New Dawn, Red Dead Redemption 2. Oh boy, I love Red Dead Redemption 2's music. May I stand unshaken in a world across the world. Also the Fallout series, Batman Arkham games, and many more. I'm curious to know, what are some of your favorite songs or soundtracks in video games? I would love to know, and I'm very curious, so please leave a comment down below on this video and tell me what your favorites are. Or also, do you agree or disagree with my points in what I have to say? I'd love to see feedback. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to check out my channel. I have a Halo Reach series, Breath of the Wild Master Mode, Doom Eternal video, and much more. If you got this far in the video, I'd like to say thank you and have an awesome day. Peace out, guys.